everyone. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Again, welcome to the kitchen. I apologize that I'm coming on a little late. Like I said, we're still in summer, dropped my baby off yesterday. So today I just wanted to come and catch up with you. I will not be long here. You can follow me on SKTV today, later this afternoon. So I'm going to be here really short. I also wanted to invite you to an immigration town hall that is being led by Ilimon, I believe a Liberian born, also Liberian, Nigerian, Kenyan, but he has multiple heritage. A corporate legal minds and immigration also to talk to you about your rights and responsibility as a citizen, as a resident, or as just a visitor in America. It's really good to know. Knowledge is power. Club yourself with that power. I posted that on my Facebook page, and you can go there. You can log in. You should be on by now. Okay, it took me longer to log in because my system, after I don't use it for a while, it logs me out automatically. So few things that I want to talk about this afternoon before I leave. Okay. The weak foundation for the future in Liberia, we must be concerned about that. A cycle of mediocrity in Liberia, we must be concerned about that. Okay. Lost opportunity, we must open our eyes to that. Okay. The threat for the national progress, all of this in twine. Okay. The erosion of hope. We're talking about drugs. I have one of my little sister yesterday wrote to a boy who were having an episode. I'm not going to play that today. I'm really not. Okay. It was really sad. Maybe I will play that. Maybe I will play that just for the heaven of it. All right. Now, let me put a disclaimer here so we can understand where we are as a nation. All right. Again, I have no copyright to some of these video that I'm about to play. Of viewer discretion is advised. Okay. So, as people, as citizens, as human beings, as Liberians, we're quick to forget. We're quick to shift blame. We're quick to make it someone else fault. Let me go back. I remember when CDC took over in 2018, January. But before coming to power, CDC had promised the young people that were on drugs that they were going to build rehabilitation center, that they were going to take care of them. They were going to send some of them away to training. In fact, it was Mo Ali who were making, I'm sorry, Mo Ali, not you. Moba Malu who were making those promises as he was in a ghetto right there on Center Street. The kids were smoking weed. Okay. I know we have forgotten as Liberians. We don't remember that. We don't want to remember that. Okay. And this is why the nation keep eroding, because we have refused to acknowledge where we have been in history, where we are presently, and how we can change that status, right? For us to change it, first and foremost, we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. We have to be truthful. We have to look ourselves in the mirror, okay, and make the critical decision to face our demon in the face. But we are not trying to do that. The goal is not to do that. The goal is shift blames while we play musical chairs and go back and forth. I wanted to come here today because I'm going to talk to somebody. I would have loved to talk about my baby. For those of you who comment on my post, I'd appreciate you. Yesterday, in fact, just the anticipation of our baby going away have been heavy on me, have been really difficult. Most of you don't know this. All my life, my adult life, even before my adult life, I have been a mom. That's all I know. Always has somebody. So when you have more children and one leave, you always have three. But as they all grow up and exit, it seems like you're dependent on the last one. And then finally, the last one have to make their own decision. They have to find a path. While I am excited and I'm prayerful and I'm grateful to my community, you've been phenomenal. You show up every time for Lisa, every time. But at the same time, as a parent, it is difficult to just let go. Very difficult. So it has been a journey, and I'm grateful for this journey. Now, I want to continue this conversation with where we are as a nation. Until we come to the point where, as Liberians, we look in the mirror, make a decision, okay? Make a decision that is truthful, that we stand in to speak the truth, to face our truth. We are not going anywhere. That's how I see it. Because we don't face our truth. We don't want to know what is going on. And the reason we don't want to know is so long we are the one who are in the position to benefit, we justify. That is our problem. So long we are the one who are benefiting directly or indirectly, we justify where we are as a nation. Now, I was talking about CDC ascendancy before the one-day election. We said in 2017, 2016 during the election that the UP-led government failed after billions of dollars came to the country to rehabilitate. In fact, from the onset, when Jacques Klein, the special envoy that led the disarmament, has said, if you want the training, you want to be rehabilitated, you must okay? And the children turning their guns, their arms and ammunition, able to be rehabilitated. Liberian people, let's face this truth and start being deceptive, okay? Lying to ourselves and continue to lie to ourselves. Above all, do not lie to yourself, because the man who lies to himself gets to a place that he cannot differentiate what is real and what is a lie. Okay? Now, why is this not coming through? So, that was the reason Liberians were mad at UP. Billions of dollars came in the country. They got rich, okay? They compromised our boys and our girls, okay? The drug in the place were infested. Center Street had turned into a drug place. Young people were taking electric ball and turning it into drugs. The powder in there, burning it down. That's 2016. Folks, I who live in the United States, who back and forth in Liberia, okay? Know this. But you are changing the narrative because you don't want to face your truth. And we can't change Liberia by changing the goalposts. We cannot change Liberia by being disloyal to ourselves or to be absent-minded. for that matter. We can't change that. That is not a true statement. All right. So, and I'm going to play the video, not now, but I'm looking for those videos from KMTV, where the moment CDC got inaugurated, whether I think it's called Kingrey or Kinville, well, all of those kids, they said they were on drugs. My thought was they were going to go rehabilitate them because Mobile Malou had promised that if those children voted for WIA, and those children wanted to vote for WIA because they wanted to relief, they wanted help, they were crying for help. Okay, you took the guns from there. There was the ability, okay, to feed the demon that were eating them up. They didn't eat, they didn't get to use drug on their own. They were giving drugs. According to United Nations, 70% of the people who fought, they were kids under the age of 18. They drugged them to make them brave. They were under pressure, okay? And killing was simple. And that's how they operated. So we promised them, give in your guns, your arm and ammunition. We will trade it for education. We will trade it for trade. We will make sure you get the proper education. You will be rehabilitated. You will be taken care of. You will be reintegrated. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. It did not happen. Okay? It did not happen. Okay, this is not what I'm trying to share. I don't know, for some reason I can't get my this to for me to pull it up. Why is it doing this? All right, there we go. Okay, so 12 years of UP, it didn't change it. They didn't build rehab. All right, they didn't build rehabilitation center. They didn't build schools. Yeah, they built universities. Okay, took loan and built university around the country. Primary education, 12 years with no education, no primary education. They're the where. All right, great that we did. But we needed rehabilitation. We are promised, we did not deliver. Okay, the people came back with what I promised. And what did they do? They promised that we have failed them, so they were the alternative. In fact, Bwaka told our people he knew exactly how to change Liberia. He understood the language of the Liberian people. He understood and have been in government so long that his experience were going to change the way things are. He also told us, he and Darius Dillon on Spoon, that the first 6 months in the country, nobody would travel. Guess what? He was traveling before even he won. And then when he won the primary, what happened? He came to America for almost 2 months. He was not in Liberia for when they were doing the certification. They had to set a different date for him to, when he came back, he said he knew the day ahead were going to be difficult. Okay, so he came to seek medical help. Remember, this man was in government since the 70s, maybe before I was born. No legacy to show. You elected him on the promise that he's experienced. Put the life and livelihood of your children in his hand. And guess what? He told you nobody would be traveling. They didn't build the hospital. Although the war sent us billions of dollars to reconstruct the country, they put in paycheck and say they were doing it for expertise. They broke down institutions. For instance, the mayoral position in Liberia used to be elected position. When the president thought that her nomination was not going to pass, she passed out a brown envelope and said, Liberia don't have money to do election. So let's change it. They wrote a resolution. Liberia need to visit that resolution. You don't change a constitutional law by resolution. You do a referendum, and that way Liberian people need to come together and ask this government. You took down the guardrail. You created other institution, but only for people to get paid to build a government. Liberia has, and I keep telling Liberian people, no nation that I have studied so far that have gone to war, okay, and survived, stay with the same exact constitution that people use to destroy one another and destroy the nation. No nation does that. No nation I know have done that, and move forward. If Liberia with 5 million people, the president, the only the leadership in the country, that 105 people, that include the vice president, that are elected. 5 million people, 105 people. One man appoint over 5,000 people. America, the richest country in the world, where the richest man in the world living. The president have less than 5,000 appointed position. Civil servant, the minister posts, they elected. We elect our sheriffs. We elect our police chiefs. So they are at the people's level, community level. We don't want you, we kick you out. Except for the Supreme Court, majority of our judges are elected, they're elected position, especially at the municipal level. And you have to be experienced to some degree before you can have certain amount of hours. This orange man, we don't talk about him when we come to governance. But one man appoint all the ministers, assistant minister, deputy minister, deputy director, the chiefs, the ZOE, the justice of the peace, in every county, the superintendent, who's supposed to be like the governor of the state. So the superintendent, they get there, they do whatever they want. You have one superintendent building from place to place. Nobody can ask them question. They don't have town hall meeting to say what do the people want. Listen, this is the budget. This is how we allocated the budget. We want to ask you where your input. No. From government to government. They have not changed. Nigeria, after the war, they modified the constitution. Ghana, they modified, in fact, during the time of Jerry Rawlings, to update the constitution. Rwanda changed her constitution. Japan changes constitution. China changes constitution as governance structure. So did China. Rwanda, the same. So I'll continue. Sierra Leone, Liberia, refuse. Now they come back, they say that what the 1986 Constitution says, so long is system. That's what they say. Folks, I'm going to leave because I'm going to be on SKTV. It took me longer to get on. I'm still on vacation. No, Cousin Dada, they have no plan. They have no plan. They're a liar. They're there to steal everything they say. Then now they say it's CDC. CDC failed. When CDC was there, CDC said it's UP. CDC failed. That's why we elected you. That's why we brought you back. because you were more experienced to set the tone, to change Liberia problem. I'm going to play this one video and then I'm going to go. Y'all give me 1 second. I saw a video yesterday with a Liberian young man. Here it is. This video right here. I'm going to play it. Y'all please forgive me. Again, this is for advocacy purposes. If it's too strong for you, I apologize. Facebook, okay. Again, I have, where is my Facebook page? Okay, I have no copyright to this. This is for advocacy purposes, awareness purposes, to help our people out to understand. Somebody wrote on their Facebook yesterday and said, why you're doing this to yourself? They're not doing it to themselves. Okay? We need to understand it's mental health. Okay? It's a mental crisis. And depression does that. Teenagers are risk taker to begin with. When teenagers are adult, there's nothing, no future, no plan, no support, no jobs. Okay? It becomes a problem, a nation's problem. That's what leadership is. In our society, the only person that can change Liberia, leadership will start from the top, will be those in a position of power who have the resources. Okay? You may like what I say, you may not like it, that's your problem. Okay? When Bwaka left power, he was not doing anything. He was begging everybody else just to eat. Now you're telling Liberian people they're lazy, they won't get on work. He was supposed to create jobs for them.
To say, but it breaks my heart. Like, I had to go down and see how we go reviving, get him milk, red oil, and he said he didn't eat anything. He was hungry and went and took tension. I don't know what is tension. They say it's kush, but I think it's higher than kush, or it's not a normal kush or regular kush. But please, to all parents, if you're out there in a position to help your child right now, to rehabilitate them, to work for the sake of God, I know you have tried. I know the things that have put you through, but just try again. To it. It's not easy. It's not funny anymore. Please.
Liberian people, this is a national crisis. This is a national crisis. This is something that should wake up nation. You can the hell just say no to drugs. Children want to know why. Those of us who live in the developed world, when you tell your child don't touch the stove, you must explain to that child why they should not touch the stove. You have to give them something to play with, especially when the kids were drunk up. Most of those children were born with drugs in the system because the mothers took drugs during the war, the father took drugs during the war to survive, to fight. So they already had drugs in the system. They were prone to be hooked. And the government is not helping. We have millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of drugs come through the airport, through the borders. We arrest people, we release them. We send them out, put them on the plane to go. But he said they're doing it to themselves. I got a lot of calls where people told me, we know the drug dealer in the community. But when we report, the drug investigator can go tell our neighbors. I have family people who told me that. They said because they pay most of those people for protection. They don't want to risk their lives. When allegedly the first family sell drugs. In fact, Bwakason Tongton We have to, I don't know, whatever, have to be sent to Lebanon for be rehabilitated because he sell drugs. He was on drugs. The last government, y'all remember under the last UP-led government? Chris Master, the police director, they didn't go to jail one day when he helped somebody who had killed a journalist carry her car, put him in it, and throw the little boy body out there. And they got names of the things that they do. When people are telling you it's the government, yes, it is the government. Who is responsible to direct the nation? It is the role of government to direct society, to set its moral tune, to protect its security, okay? To prioritize education, information dissemination, protection, and norms of a society. It is their duty. It is the church job to, you have to understand, the first government were on the shoulder of the church. Your relation people. The first government were blessed. Your who pray to the Israel, this and that. The first king were ordained by the priest or the prophet. How the church is quiet and the deacon is on the hem of the wheel. How is that? How is the government taking, folks, again, I'm supposed to be here for an hour, but I missed the hour. So I was setting my time. I'm going to try to make it. Peter and I will change our schedule. I was on 5 o'clock on Sunday because that's the schedule that was given to us by Truth FM, Musa Station in Nimba and Liberia for that matter. But something changed, so we're not able to come on at around that time. Usually I like 7 o'clock because my Sunday, I don't want to cut it in half. But here we are. Now, I want to speak to this briefly before I go. I know yesterday Anthony Sear wrote about ANC, elitists, and this. Let me explain to you. And somebody said, you're just taking stride. That's exactly what you did during the election. That's exactly what you did after we helped rebuild what we call CPP, brought the failed Unity Party back, brought in the old rebel leader, Yuri, and the rest of them, Yoyomli Kanga, all of them, put our time, our money, when they said they didn't have it, to have them elected. Then you'll come back and say, oh, you got to be people person. I am a girl whose mother used to go fishing in Nima County before we could have good food to eat. I was born on banana leaf behind the house. And you call me elitist. Because I worked my butt out to get to where I am. You punish people for success or wanting more. And you call them elitists. Is that your problem? And Tony Sear, you were with the ANC, and you knew all the answers. Why didn't you help to build it? Send your people person so you can reach out. Send your more in touch. Send your more down to earth. You help to bring the CDC to power. With the hope that y'all were going to get a job. You didn't get a job. You're turning your back. We all prosecuted the CDC. You and I went to Washington along with Josiah Joka. Josiah Joka is in the Human Rights Report for abuse. In fact, he was defiant. He went on the air. He wrote on Facebook telling the people to fire the people, the 9 people at the Monrovia City Corporation because they spoke up. Josiah Joka never started speaking from the day CDC took over. He read our petition in Nancy Pelosi office that they should put sanction on CDC official. Yes, I back that still supported today. All right. They were given an opportunity to change the story. Josiah Joka's wife is working as a director at that's my brother, and I'm going to still speak up. My brother that they may not deal with blood were in UP-led government. I still spoke up, and I'm going to speak up today. You want to make enemy, that's your problem. That's not my problem. Now, let me say this to you. Josiah Joker is in a position to change Liberia, to impact. Every moment he on plea. These are the people who are talking about we are traveling. Every moment he's on plea. They go on Facebook, on the internet, searching for summit so they can send an invitation to go, so they can get an SDA, so they can get the money and rep the nation up. And Sonny, that's your friend. When you go to Liberia, he hosts you. You hang out with him. He gave you escort. He takes you to the airport. He picks you up. He's there for you. Have you talked to him? Okay. Liberian people are giving an opportunity to the grassroots, like the UP people, the Lothians. How about you tell them to do what is right by Liberians? To come to attack. You know how many hand pumps that Mr. Cummings had installed in Liberia? Do you talk about Mr. Cummings when Liberians were dying for HIV? Not just Liberian, African came up with the idea to negotiate with people around the world to provide free drugs to Africa and meaning Liberia. Do you know? You know this, Anthony. The problem with all is we are so fake in Liberia. And people say, I hope they take it in good faith. No, that nonsense. That is still nonsense you started. Lying to our people, straight in the wrong direction. Then you'll come back and blame them. And Sonny, you were for Josiah, that your brother. All of y'all were with me when we advocated. How about you speak to that? How about you speak to the human rights? You were in Washington with me. You were in New York with me for human rights. Oh, you didn't see that part. But you're looking for attention. Oh, ANC people will come. I'm not talking as an ANC. I'm talking as an advocate, as you're supposed to be. I'm talking as a Liberian. That's what I'm talking to. Until we learn to put Liberia first, all of us are doomed because we lied too much. It's because we're situational. So long our friends are there. Somebody asked me, my brother was advisor to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I never stopped. When the Ebola came, who went to Washington? Who gathered influential people to bring Liberia face so they can get the help that they needed? Alexander Cummings. But when you live in a society where people only remember if you help them today, we are all doomed. Okay? Oh, you want people to go borrow money, give people t-shirt, give them food, give them this, give them that. So you will borrow all the money. You got to pay the people back. We give money. We went out there. We talked to Liberian people. We talked elitists. That's the part that got me. Who elitists? I'm a Mangoes. I'm from Mainpa, a red dusty road where some people still live in mud houses, where people live off the farm, where my family live off the farm, during the 133 years. You punish people for success. Why y'all crying? Hello, Sister Rebecca. Why y'all crying? You punish people because they want more, because they want better for Liberia. But I will talk to you later. I will talk to you. I will deal with this. All right, folks. Meet me here on Saturday. I will not do it because I do it on my personal page. Yes. In fact, the only reason I'm doing it here because if I don't do it, I'm not able to do it on my what do you call it? But I've said enough. Let me get my YouTube stuff here, and then I will. Okay. So it has been real again. It's a test here. So let's talk later. I will be on the show with Steve then today. She's sending me a video. I need to look at it. and then we're going to take that from there, and then we'll see. I have some video. I need to find them and compile them from the time CDC took over, so I can have that to play for you when CDC took over, how Liberia was. So you don't make this. Our children were drugged from Taylor Town. UP was supposed to fix it. They failed. CDC promised them that they were going to fix them. They were going to create avenue for them to get help. They also came, they lie and forgot about the people. Waka came just yesterday. He had lied. 2 years is almost here. All they done is travel. Yeah, good day.